all this is a listing of a few of the different kinds of activities. This presentation, if it's not, will be up on our website, which is written over there, carleton.ca/edc. And there's a whole number of other links at the end of this if you wanted to go and get it of different activities you can do. The debates are kind of interesting because you divide your students into 3 or 4 groups, but then rather than just put together a regular debate, as we've done so often, you send them out to find internet resources, and then you let them collaborate on discussion boards and debate their topics on their online discussion boards. What's nice about that is you have a record of it afterward, because you can take a picture of what was on your discussion board, and you've got a record of the debate and of the arguments that were made, etc. Should North America share one currency as Europe has done? Should we have standardized tests in education? You can throw almost anything up as a debate. If you're in the classroom and everybody's got laptops, this can get quite active and go quite quickly because people are Googling their arguments and making them quite quickly. Case studies, any number of different types of case studies, with your students with laptops, with your own computer connectivity, business, but not just business, anywhere else. A video case is an awful lot more interesting for students to engage in than reading. Any of you in business? You've lived through case studies your whole life where some of these business cases are 6, 7 single-space pages long, and you're plowing through them. The concept of having a video case that people can watch, and even 2 or 3 different vignettes of different people in the case, then a quick handout with notes, that's far more effective. Now, technically, you don't need to be wireless to do that. Technically, you don't even need to be on the internet if you've got the case embedded in something else. But the internet helps you go out and find more of them. Engineering design problems, great. When you can show people, here's what the resources look like, here's a design of the old one. And we get a lot of 3D animation and manipulatives and things that you can do. WebQuest is an actual website. It's webquest.org. And it's got a whole ton of pre-done, and it lets you actually do your own. Anybody used WebQuest? Exercises that students need. It's structured, but students need to go out to the web and find answers to a series of questions or find the solutions to a problem. But it's structured enough that it starts them out with what kind of sites they may want to start on and where they want to go. And the problems are all there. And it's free. So you can send them to WebQuest and say you want to do this WebQuest called this, and then they all go out on the web and find things out. There's one called Math on Trial that's really neat, that argues that math is useless and does not need to be hindering people's academic progress into the future. I have this thing I keep wanting to write, but I never have time. Is I want to coin the phrase surf search. Because when people say they're researching things, and really this has been true for years, you'll work with somebody and they'll go, I've spent 3 days researching a new printer because we need to get a new printer for the office and we've been researching that. As a scientist and a researcher, that is not research, that is shopping. There's nothing wrong with shopping. But students, come into universities with this completely misplaced sense of what research is. They think research is going through the library, finding books that have information on your topic you're going to write your paper on. And they think that's research because that's what their teachers call it. Because their teachers don't really distinguish either. We have a different definition of research. That's information gathering or data gathering. It's not research. So one of the things we have to watch is terminology there, that students think they're actually conducting research when they're surfing the web. But they're searching and they're surfing, so I think surf searching would work fine. These assignments can be a lot of fun because you really just make the students go out there and evaluate the quality of the resources that they are finding on the web. You say, okay, here's a problem, you need to find the solution, go out and find me 10 resources on the internet that you think are useful, and then create your answer. It's another thing that's never going to go away is the internet. So it's about time that we start teaching them how to evaluate the veracity of what they see and what's useful. We have virtually all the scholarly journals within the next 2 years. They're not all on e-journals right now, but they're all in the process of going on to e-journals, everything. So just even that sense we had that it has to be a physical piece of paper in a journal to be valid is gone now. So we really need to spend some time. So that's one of the things is all kinds of let's say we're teaching education and we're trying to teach teachers how to design lesson plans. Tell them to go out there and find examples of good, bad, and indifferent lesson plans and construct a demonstration. There's millions of lesson plans out there on the web. There's a lot of things out there, and part of what we need to do is stop, and I know I don't need to tell you guys this nearly as much as perhaps some more seasoned professors. We need to stop trying to tell them that it's all garbage, and that the only thing that's of value in a university is going to come out of that building over there in the corner of the quad, because it's not true. And there's a tremendous amount of very valuable, very rich resource material out there on the web. And there's a lot of garbage. You know, not arguing that there isn't. But something we were talking about this morning about developing course outlines. If you're about to develop your very first course outline ever in a very narrow discipline, go Google course outlines in your discipline. Find out what 500 other profs put in their course. It's there. And that's valuable resource material. It's not research. But it's valuable resource material, so teach them any way you can. Online surveys and inventories are awesome. Students love them. Students love to do surveys of things and then gather information. You can let them pick their own subjects, or you can let them come up with subjects. You can either use a online survey tool like SurveyMonkey or Survey Console or Zoomerang. There's a whole pile of them. Fast will work as an online survey tool. There's lots of them out there that are free for small numbers. You can create your own survey and gather their information. You can let them create a survey and gather each other's information. They've all got access to the internet. They can all go home. We did this years ago with paper. You'd write a survey and you'd hand it out to people. But this is instantaneous. If you've got a class of 300 students and everybody has access to a laptop, even if there's like one laptop for every 10 students, you can do a survey and immediately give the results in class. And it's fun. You can teach them all about polling. You can teach them all kinds of cool things about polling. There's Java applets out there for just about every possible academic discipline now. Java applets are generally animations or active applications of one form or another, learning objects. There's all kinds of things out there. If you want to demonstrate how correlation is affected by extreme numbers, and you've got a line of regression or whatever, and you want to show that if you change the data, your line of correlation will change. There's tons of statistical Java applets out there. I teach that, so I know where most of those are. Engineering, all kinds of things in the sciences. If you want to see animated 3D proteins and how they're changed, it's amazing how many things are out there. That one picture really is worth 1,000 words, and sometimes it is better than what you could draw on the blackboard, because you can rotate things, you can modify them. There's some examples on here: engineering applets, math virtual manipulatives. I really like this University of Colorado one on statistics. It's a really cool one. But again, there'll be you just got to Google Java applet in whatever site you're in, and you'll get hundreds of them. Or get your students to go out and find them for you. Nothing wrong with that. Make it worth 5% of their grade to go out and find you one really good learning resource for this subject. They'll do it.